Good morning, and good morning. Hope all is well. I think it's Buenos Dias. Is it Buenos with an A? Buenos Dias? I almost messed that up. Anyway, hope you all had a great night of sleep from last night. Hope you had a great weekend. This is Jamie with the E2T Morning Show. Let's not waste any time getting into the market. Let's check out what we got going on. I'm going to bring this up. Hope you all had a profitable week last week as well. We got Feds are reporting this week, by the way. So the stock futures rise slightly as Wall Street gets ready for the Fed meeting this week. That's something that we definitely have to be aware of. Currently, the Dow futures is up. Well, everything is up right now. The Dow futures up 0.19%. S&P futures up 0.31%, and the NASDAQ futures up 0.50%. Last reported for Europe, everything was down. For Asia, everything was reported down as well. The HSI, which is Hong Kong, was down the most. They had popped a little bit. I remember end of last week, we were seeing it was kind of mixed. Over in Asia, I think it was mostly up, and so they reversed the gains that they had and went the opposite way. In terms of the U.S., last reported for us, the Nasdaq was the only one that was up. The Russell 2000 was down the most. Currently, the VIX is up slightly, 2.97%. The VIX is at 14.22. 14.22. Again, the stock futures rise slightly as Wall Street gets ready for Fed meeting this week. So here's the thing. Since we're already there, let's do this. So we got this happening on Wednesday. I'm just pointing out what they're referring to. We got the FOMC economic projections, the statement, the press conference that's happening. So there's that. For today, we have the Empire State Manufacturing Index, orange folder. This has already been reported. Then we got two red folders happening pretty soon, which is the Flash Manufacturing PMI and the Flash Services PMI. All right, Flash Manufacturing PMI, Flash Services PMI. This is on ForexFactory.com. This is the calendar. I'm going to put this. I don't know if you all will be able to click on it or not, but I will put that link in there for today in case somebody wants to come back and refer to it. Okay. So that is on ForexFactory.com. Again, we come to ForexFactory.com. It gives us a good list of what is happening for the economic projections, not only of the day, but based on this calendar, you can see what's going to be coming up in the future. And then you can always go back in the past. If you haven't used this before, you can come over here to details, click on that folder, and it'll give you an explanation. The most important thing is what the effect is. Actual greater than forecast is good for currency. That's the main thing we're looking for when we come over here. Actual is greater than forecast. So when we see this information, actual is greater than forecast. As we can see here, that didn't happen, right? That's not to say that the economy is going to collapse, but it is saying that what was reported right here may not have been all that great. But this gives us a chance to at least check out what has happened in the past. And again, you can see when it's going to be coming up again, but it gives you a good explanation of what's happening. All right. This particular one is a survey of about 200 manufacturers in New York State, which asks respondents to rate the relative level of general business conditions. because this all the money is intertwined in many ways. So this is a good site, ForexFactory.com. Over here, we have investing.com, which is the other resource. And I'm going to filter out exactly to what we need for the United States. And over here, with Forex Factory is red folder, yellow folder, orange folder. Red is most impact, orange is, you would say, medium to the economy. Yellow may not be as much impact. Over here is 1, 2, and 3 stars for investing.com. I'm gonna put this in there as well, so you all will have this. Okay. So the New York Empire State Manufacturing Index, same thing. This is 2-star event or implication over here. 3 stars for the S&P Global U.S. Manufacturing PMI for December. It's coming up at 17 minutes. This is the S&P Global Composite PMI for December. Is 2 stars. 3 stars for the S&P Global Services PMI. It's 3 stars. Then at 11:30, there's a 3-month and the 6-month bill auction. Right? 3-month and the 6-month bill auction. I will say this for the Forex Factory. If you come over here to details, you'll see these dates. You might start seeing that the information, you'll see some of the dates is almost cyclical around the exact same, almost the exact same date, or, the second week of the month, blah, 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 blah. You might start seeing a pattern with the dates. This is good because you can always go back and back test some of that information, which I have done actually, to see if there's like some type of impact, especially when it comes to the FOMC stuff. If you're using Thinkorswim and you log in live and you go to on demand, you can always use these dates to go in and see if, there was something in the charts that you saw around these dates when things were being reported. All right. So that's what makes those dates something that we can definitely use as part of our information gathering. Down here, this is the legend that explains 1-star low volatility, 2-star moderate volatility, 3-star high volatility expected. So that's what those are referring to for those of you who have not used this before. All right. So good morning to everybody that has joined us. Lisa Henry, good morning. Sabrina, good morning. Good morning, Janae, Silena, Ward, Nangali Rabuche, Alyssa, Lady T. Good morning, everybody. Once again, hope you all had a great night of sleep and that you had a great weekend. Let's jump over to earnings whispers. All right. This is a selection of some of the companies that are reporting for earnings that Earning Whispers has highlighted. Again, this is not everybody that's reporting. Nothing reported this morning before the open, but after close today, it's Red Cat, Mama Creations, Compass Minerals, Quipt, MyTech, which is, I put them on the software side versus the hardware side of tech, RCI Hospitality Holdings, and then before open tomorrow, Amentum and REE. Tuesday after close is Hyco. Before the open on Wednesday is General Mills, ABM, Birkenstocks, Toro, Jabil, and Organogram. I will not pretend like I know what that is. I'm especially doing Wednesday, looking at Wednesday. After close Wednesday is Micron, Lennar, Milano, Worthington, Steelcase, and Interpack Tool. But I'm looking at Wednesday after close and Thursday before the open, mainly because we have some stuff in terms of tech. This is Micron, of course, is in, they're in a lot of everything. I know them from the hard drives, software. Technically, it's not a hard drive; it's flash drives, but they are definitely in that space of where Nvidia is in terms of the data. All of those huge data warehouses, they are in that same space as well. Of course, with the president-elect talking about tariffs, that could affect maybe not this earnings report, but well, they won't affect this earnings report, but future earnings reports. So that would be something for people who trade Micron. Before the open is Accenture in terms of tech and pay checks. I put both of those again on the software side, as well as a BlackBerry after close on Thursday. But before the open, some of us are probably familiar with Darden Restaurants and Cintas. Conagra for sure is another one some of us have mentioned. After close is Nike on Thursday and FedEx as well. So, and then Carnival Cruise Line reports on Friday. Okay, so it's not a what we call a heavily volatile week, if you want to phrase it that way. But there's more than enough stuff, excuse me, going on, especially with the change about to happen in the White House. Okay, so enough to be aware of. Let's check out Adam Mancini. We got what's the wrong one? All right, this way. Last week was all about one level in SPX, the 6057 magnet, and it provided all last week's trades. It gave another last evening. 6057 had to reclaim the trigger long as posted and is above 10 so far. Plan today, 6072 is next, react. Then 6085, 6095. 6053, 6058 is support. If it fails, we sell to 6032, 6037. XSP, 6095 at the top and 632 at the bottom. Okay. Let's work on making that happen. Okay. All right. Let's do this. Let's do it this way. I already see that we do have tickers, and we will get to those expeditiously. This is SPX on the 15-minute chart for Thinkorswim. Okay, this is what happened on the last session. We did the 15-minute breakout, and it did try to go up. And I do recall, I believe we were talking about when this started trying to push up that this could turn around because we were seeing resistance. And when it dropped, it dropped. But as you can see here, these are the Mancini numbers that we put on the chart. And for me, this is the reason why I have no problem putting these numbers on the chart, because when he was talking about this was support on our last session, this is where he said it would bounce to under the support line. So that's exactly what happened. And it when the session closed, it hovered around the top level, 6043 to 6048, and that's about where it hovered. So I can definitely say from what I've seen so far, when converting these numbers, that pinpoint accuracy is probably the best way for me to describe what I've seen with Mancini. We're gonna put this in as a gap up, right? And one of the things we have been talking about, maybe not on the SPX chart per se, but we've been able to see it better on the SPY chart, so I'll switch to the SPY chart. But I'm going to drag these lines over here for the 15-minute breakout. I know it's not 15 minutes yet, but I will forget to move those lines. And what I do, in case you're wondering, I just look at Mancini's numbers throughout the day and just kind of use that to also gauge what might be going on in terms of how I'm going to be trading as well. So we're going to do 6072. 6072. All right. This one was from last week. So we can take this one out. And we'll just say 6095. Go up above it. This is 6085. All right. Now the support is 6053. 6058. You notice we're pretty much in the same. We're only 10 points away from where we were before. Okay. We sell to 6032. Right. So this is what we got right now. 6072 is next. This is in play. This is in play. We'll say in play. There you go. And this is going to say support. Let's do it that way. So now, for those of you that like to have maybe two windows open at the same time, things like that, it's not a bad idea to keep this open. And we're gonna keep one window open to watch what's going on with Mancini. For example, those numbers. We're gonna do 6037. And I'm gonna put sell 2. So this is the number that he had at the bottom. And 6032. All right. So these support numbers right here are the ones I'm even going to make them. So you break past that. Sell and go down here. Okay. So those are the numbers I typically will stick with throughout the day just to see what happens. And I do come back to that regularly. This gap right here, I usually just move it down throughout the day as it continues to push down there. I won't bore you out with all the lines that I put on here for the 15-minute chart, but I usually put the swing points in here as well, so I'll know where price might turn around, because that's something that's very key, especially if you're doing a 15-minute breakout. Is getting in, thinking it's gonna go up, and then it gets turned around right there, right? But that's what we got for SPX right now. But SPY, daily. So on the previous call, we were talking about how the buyer zones and the seller, I say call stream, but I don't even know what to call these now. Live get-togethers, digital gatherings, whatever it's called. YouTube lives. We were talking about how the buyer zone and the seller zones were close together like this, like they're squeezing together. If you notice, just a second ago, I was talking about the some of the numbers that we would put in were only 10 points away from each other when we were making the change. So your buyer zones and seller zones, because they're pushing together like that, there's a squeeze happening. Something is bound to happen. And so I was saying that the information for this week could be a determining factor on what happens with this chart. This overall candlestick formation looks like it could be a double top, by the way, or a triple top or something like that. I would not be surprised if this reverses and come down. Let me say it that way. With this 602, 603, this zone in here kind of being the neckline, meaning it's been hitting this. So it would not surprise me if it hits it and then comes down a little bit. But anyway, because these zones are so close, I would be expecting something to happen. But I'm leaving mine like this in terms of leg in, base, leg out. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't be against somebody charting it where they use this as the leg in, the base, and then the leg out. I mean, it is closer to price and really just further emphasizes the fact that the zones are close together, right? So if this is the seller zone up here, leg in, base, leg out is where that would be. And then if this is the buyer zone, leg in, base, leg out is where that would be. They're basically sharing certain legs. Again, I'm gonna put a bunch of lines on there, but if somebody was to chart it that way, that would be closer to price. So that would make sense in terms of charting. But if you're an option seller, I most definitely would be watching this to see what happens. I personally don't get in this early, but I am I'm nosy. Want to at least peek and see what his DTE might look like. What is that, like 8 or 9 cents, something like that? Oh man, even more. So on the one spread, 604 to 603, it's collecting 12 cents or $12 on $100 collateral. Again, I'm not getting in, but I'm definitely looking. Not as much up here on this is the put credit spread, not as much on the call credit spread side for this. Price is pushing down, but I will say the way this is looking, depending on what's going on here, if this keeps pushing down, that could be, there's no reason that wouldn't be a potential iron condor situation. The premium is going to be higher down here just because price is getting closer to it. But all right, enough about that. I'm going into a rabbit hole. Good morning, Tamar. Let's see here. I saw that somebody requested coin. All right, Coinbase. Coinbase is kind of in that same situation too. I'll do it this way. We'll just clear the screen. Those are the lines from my other study group. So we're gonna chart this leg in, base, leg out. So we have 3 candle formation. We know that the sellers are in here, and the sellers are definitely reacting to $349 range. Remember, this is a zone, right? Then we'll put this one here. Even though this has been this has been revisited. So we are going to space bar again if you're on Thinkorswim. If you are,
I didn't get that.
oh come on, Siri, Jesus. If you are on Thinkorswim and you're using Mac or Windows, you can when you click a line, you can just hit the space bar, and that will duplicate your line for you. All right. So this is another example of the buyer and the seller zones being close together. Not as close as the other one, of course, but definitely close together. So I'm gonna put these numbers on here so you can see them. Move. Which line is it? All right. On the right. There you go. All right. So these two are close together. Again, whatever goes down with Bitcoin, this is Coinbase. Coinbase is directly tied to Bitcoin. Directly tied to Bitcoin. Anything that's going down with Bitcoin is going to be going down with Coinbase, no doubt about it. Right? That has been very consistent. So what we have here, wrong price is what I'm going for on the right. Okay. So what we have here, this is obviously pushing up. So if I was looking at this for exploration for this week and I was getting into it today, price is pushing up, I would expect the premiums above price, which would be called credit spread. I would expect those to be a little bit higher. I prefer to get in on the opposite side where it's not pushing up. But of course, we still have economic news happening for this week. This is a 2.5 spread, right? That's $250 of collateral. I'll be landing myself somewhere around probably just, I would be okay with 300. I'll be okay with 800. It's moving up. So on $250 collateral, this would be 34 cents or now $40. Price came back a little bit. This is fluctuating, right? So 300, 297. That will be putting us in here in terms of price. Right, 300, 297 is in here in this range. So in terms of the map, getting in around there, it's about where that would be. Especially right now. So not to confuse anybody, and I don't even know if people could see the link that I put in to the chat box, but you can expect some more. That's the only word I can think of is movement as it relates to Bitcoin, because of course we've been hearing that we've been hearing a lot about Bitcoin and what could be happening with Bitcoin, with the president-elect seeming more friendly towards those things. MicroStrategy shares have jumped as a Bitcoin proxy would join the NASDAQ 100 index, right? And I'm bringing this up because we're sitting over here looking at Coinbase, all right? And so if you're not familiar with the NASDAQ 100, so the NASDAQ, as when you usually hear people just say NASDAQ or NASDAQ composite, what they're really talking about is the 2,500 companies that make up the NASDAQ, okay? What we know as the NASDAQ. Well, the NASDAQ 100 is 100 of those companies, right? The NASDAQ 100 is 100 of that 2,500, and those companies are not financial companies that are in that group. So it's a select group from the NASDAQ 100. They're not, they're not financial stocks, I mean, they're not in the financial sector. And so MicroStrategy has been buying up a bunch of Bitcoin for a while now, as a matter of fact. So obviously Coinbase being tied to Bitcoin, that is something that can actually reverberate in their direction as well. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind if you are trading Coinbase at all, or anything that's related to Coinbase, including Mara and Riot, etc. It's BTBT, Clean Spark, CLSK is Clean Spark, some of the other ones, all right? But that's what I'm looking at for Coinbase right now. I will be down here, put credit spread, but definitely some decent premiums right now for Friday expiration. Somebody else requested Verizon as well. Okay. Looks like it's trying to fall into a buyer zone. And I'll put this about right here. Something like that. And try to zoom this in as much as possible. Actually, all right, so let's do this. We're above price. And what's the low on this? 40.86. $40.86. Right. Okay, so this looks like it's falling into a buyer zone. And it has another buyer zone sitting just under it. This would be something to definitely watch. If it comes crashing through there, which, let's be honest, with the way if you ever do any back testing and look at those FOMC announcements, we have seen some drop-offs in terms of the stock prices and stuff. So it's not beyond the realm of possibility that this can keep falling through here. But as of right now, it looks like it's trying to come down into a buyer zone. The only thing that I would see up here for a seller zone that looks like, I guess I'll use the word normal, would be right here. Leg in, two in the base, leg out. There's probably a couple other ways to be able to do that, but without trying to force it. Show price on the right. So let's take a look at the options chain and see what the possibilities are. I have not looked at Verizon in a minute. So for expiration this Friday, since this is falling into a buyer zone, I will be looking to go above price. Now, Verizon is what I call a half a spread, 50-cent spread. So that would be $50 collateral right here, 42.5, 42, that's 0.5. So I consider that half a spread as an example. So the premiums are not going to be as high. However, I could also just widen the spread and go, I'll be 0.9 to 0.4. That would be 0.06. Now, Verizon is not one of those that has a high volatility from what I experienced. So you might have to go further out in order to see any premiums. So if I just go like another week out, I may or may not see. I might see something, might not. But I would imagine that, see, that's only 7 cents. So I would imagine that something like this would be better suited for an iron condor opportunity. Just not investment advice, but based on what I'm seeing, I would do one like a call credit spread above price. You collect $7 on fit. Basically, we'll be collecting in this case $8 on $100 collateral, and then wait to see what it does. And if this is coming down and turning around, I'll do a put credit spread while the top half is still in, and share the collateral and increase the chance of getting double the money. So I would do that. But just to see what the numbers would be, if this was a one spread, this would be 9 cents. But remember, price is coming towards this number, right? So you standing in front of a moving train. But 42 would be up here. This which they call credit spread. Here, 39 would be in here, in that range, right? But there's not a lot of movement in Verizon in terms of matter of fact, let me see. Yeah, so the ATR is only 71 cents. So the average range for this isn't even $1. And the other thing to be aware of for Verizon is they have earnings and dividends coming up. So January 10th, they got a dividend payment happening. And then 2 weeks later, they have the earnings, which is the 24th of January. So if you're trading it, you definitely want to be aware of that, because that can impact your coins. Okay? Impact your coins. All right. Let's look again at SPX, the 15-minute chart. So this is not broken out of its 15 minute line. And then we'll look at Russell 2K. Who has broken way out. Yeah, Russell takes off, man. So this is the 15-minute. So this is what it decided to do already. Out of here. Right, so that's what that's doing. So if you're trading Russell 2000 for the 15-minute breakout, it has officially broken out. Okay, there's a gap that's below it on the 15-minute chart. That's what I'm currently, I'm just making this longer because I'm following what's happening with this gap down here. And what I will say up here, in terms of where it could turn around, 2361 could definitely be a place where it decides to turn around. Or 2364. A couple different places where it has been support or resistance previously. So just be aware of that when getting in. But yeah, Russell is definitely taking off. Right? Right. Let me see here. I don't know if I say good morning. I think I say good morning to Janae. Good morning, Ward. Nori. Nangali Wabushe. Good morning. Lady T. Tamar. Good morning. Nori Standard. Good morning. That's the whole crew. Yeah, we got Ward in there. What's going on? All right. We are going to switch this around. We have the SPXplaybook.net is now available for $27. Secret to making 10% profits every single day. It is a playbook. SPXplaybook.net. This is one of those I would consider the strategy that people have tweaked and added it to their trading toolbox. So I would definitely say that it's something that's worth taking a look at your earliest convenience. Okay, so go ahead and pick that up. If you are already trading SPX, I think that's a good resource to add. We got the small account growth accelerator. It is not a challenge, by the way. It is not a challenge, even though people are going to be, working at the same time, trying to achieve the same goals. It is not in any way a competition. But the idea is to turn 1K into 6K, or wherever you're starting is designed to grow your account. A lot of times people will ask, how do I grow my account if it's not a larger account? So that's what this is designed to accomplish, okay? So you start with $1,000 or start where you're at. Semi-passive strategies, consistent growth, supportive coaching and community, and option seller membership, okay? We do have the option seller membership, by the way. Same things, training support. It's at educator2trader.com, educator2trader.com. It's the number 2 for trader, not TO trader. All right. Educator2trader.com. I will say this, and I'm not just saying that because I'm in the membership group, but I will say it definitely helps having a group of traders to trade with, at the very least, for when you have questions or need some help. Man, necesito ayuda, because because sometimes it's all about the confirmation, right? So I had something happen last week on the trade, and I thought the way I needed to get out of it, I wasn't 100% sure on how to navigate my way out of the trade. So I was able to actually, contacted Alyssa in the Telegram group, and she confirmed what I was seeing. So that was good to have. The trade itself, the trade that I was putting in would have been a profitable trade regardless, even though I put it in wrong. So it wasn't like I was going to lose, but I wanted to, close the trade regardless for the peace of mind. So I didn't care about making a profit on it. I just wanted the peace of mind of not even having to worry about that trade. So to be able to have somebody confirm what I was seeing, that having that extra resource definitely helps. So I can vouch for the value of having other people, not extra sets of eyeballs on the trades, right? Growth Accelerator starts, that is January. Now, the other thing about the membership is when you're part of the membership, of course, we do have the weekly trainings and things of that nature. But when things are happening, that membership is basically like an access pass that gets you into other stuff for free. So there's things that are happening outside of the membership, and that stuff you don't have to pay extra money for that. So that's like having like an all access pass. The Growth Accelerator is a membership based. That's membership based. So you have to be part of the membership to participate in the Growth Accelerator. So we have SPX it has tried to do its little breakout. Right here, it is fighting its way up. We'll see what's going to happen. All right. May or may not make it, but it will continue to punch its way through. Okay. Let's take a look before we bounce at what's going on with our indexes. Everything is up right now, which is crazy because the VIX is also up. But the Dow Jones is up 0.21%. S&P 500 is up 0.34%. The NASDAQ is up 0.55%, and the Russell 2000 is up 0.28%. The VIX is up as well, 2.82%. Okay. So, all right, don't forget, we have, this is crude oil inventories. This is the orange folder, reported in about a half an hour. Actually, no, wrong day. Sorry. Getting me back to here. The Empire State Manufacturing Index was at 830. So, in terms of ForexFactory, these two were just reported, these two red folders. And so we're good in terms of anything else being reported for ForexFactory. And then over here for investing.com, we have the 3-month and the 6-month bill auctions. And that's at 11:30. That's 1 star. Okay. So of course that doesn't mean that nothing is happening that will affect the that will affect our charts, but we know how news can do its thing, right? All right. So E2T daily declaration. By faith, I am a successful trader. I'm a wise and knowledgeable trader. I make smart and lucrative decisions for my portfolios. Money likes me. Because money is comfortable around me, it is drawn to me. E2T daily prayer. Lord, give us wisdom and knowledge for our trades today. Help us to make smart and lucrative decisions for our portfolios. All right, everybody. We want you to stay green, get this money. Okay. Have a profitable trading day. Okay. And don't forget to pay attention to the news. These news blurbs, even though by the time we get it, stuff that already happened, but any reason that we have to check our charts and make sure we straight, we probably want to take advantage of it. All right. So thank y'all for tuning in. We will see y'all on Wednesday, and we hope that you all have a great and profitable trading day. Have a good one.